Alfred Wegener lived over 100 years ago in Germany. He was a meteorologist. A meteorologist is a scientist who studies the atmosphere. One day, Wegener was looking at a map, and he noticed that the east part of South America fit exactly against the west part of Africa. It looked like these continents had once been joined. Wegener developed a theory. He made a claim that long ago all the continents had been connected into one huge supercontinent. He called this supercontinent Pangaea. He also claimed that the continents were moving. Wegener's theory is called Continental Drift. The theory states that the continents have been moving across the Earth's surface over time. Alfred Wegener was not the first person to make this claim, but he was the first one to pull together evidence from many different sciences. Wegener showed that the continents once fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. He also found fossils of reptiles that were in parts of continents that were across from each other. These fossils were no place else. The fossils belonged to large animals that would not have been able to swim across the ocean. For example, Cynonathus, a Triassic land reptile, he found the fossils of this creature in both South America and Africa. Mesosaurus was also found in both South America and Africa. Glossopteris, a plant, was found in Australia, Antarctica, Africa, and South America along this particular path. And Lystrosaurus was found in Antarctica, India, and Africa along this particular path. And there's no way these things could have crossed over oceans, which suggests that the continents must have been next to each other at one point. Wegener also found some patterns in mountains, and these patterns seem to cross continents. For example, he found that the Appalachian Mountains in the eastern United States matched very well with the eastern Greenland Mountains in Greenland. It looked almost as if these mountain chains had once been connected. Wegener found evidence that the climates in different locations were once very different than they are today. Wegener found some unusual evidence related to glaciers, and these were in places they shouldn't be. He found glacial deposits, that's piles of rocks, moved by glaciers. As the glacier flows, it carries clay and sand and pebbles and rocks with it, and when the glacier melts, it leaves these rocks behind. Wegener also found scratches from glaciers in South America and Africa and India and Australia. These places are too warm to have glaciers in them today, and these findings could only make sense if the continents were once together, with a big glacier in the middle of them, as is shown in this picture. Wegener also found fossil evidence that there were once coral reefs in places that are too cold to have coral reefs today. And he also found fossils of tropical plants in the Arctic. Tropical plants only grow in warm places, and the Arctic is much too cold for tropical plants. Since then, we have found fossils of tropical plants in Antarctica too. These findings would only make sense if the continents that are now near the North Pole and the South Pole were once near the equator. Alfred Wegener had a lot of evidence to support his arguments that the continents were drifting apart. But people did not believe his theory because he didn't have an explanation for how the continents would be moving. This would remain a mystery for another 50 years.